I come from the mindset of never, ever, ever give up. I've got, a business that, a lot of people here have worked so hard as well, for so long, and I can't give it up. I can't do it. How am I going? I haven't had time to sit down and kind of think about it, but I I think I think if I do sit down and I think I'm just going to fall in a heap.
Today on Dirty Linen, we are talking to Joseph Vargetto, and you're our first return guest, Joe. I'm
Oh
really
wow,
thrilled
I
that
feel
it's
very
you
special.
that I know.
I got the call back.
You got the call back because your episode was very popular. People got a lot out of it. And, we're in such a different zone now. When we chatted, it was a very different Melbourne. We were in the depths of our second lockdown, and we talked so much about all the different things that you were doing in your business, but also your really fond passion and abiding love for the industry and your optimism, really, because you never had any doubt that we were going to come out the other side of this as a city and that you were going to come out of this as a restaurateur. And indeed, we're in a pretty good place now. I'm scared to say that, we're through it and it's over because there's still so many challenges. But let's just take a moment to say, yay.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Yeah, I think what you said before was that the depths of, and I don't think anyone kind of knew what was going to happen. We as a business, we kind of rallied around each other and we said, okay, no one's going to kind of break us. I said, all right, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to, beat whatever drum, and I'll do things that I've been kind of keeping under wraps for a long time, and let's just release them now. But I think now is a different time, and these in November, I look back now compared to last year. We had huge groups coming through. We had Mussy, which was busy for lunch and dinner, lunch and dinner, lunch and dinner. And I looked through some of the photos, and it's just the landscape and the feeling is just everything is so different right now. And it's trying to rebuild businesses where you try to do it in 3 or 4 months, and you kind of hit a sing note, after you get time together with all your staff. But now you have to build everything within 3 or 4 days. It's just and lucky for the restrictions, I have to say. As much as I'm a fan for these restrictions, because we need some time to kind of get the groove back. And we've been kind of delivering takeaways and doing online things, but now we need to kind of build a team that a bit like a basketball team. The front of house, put that there. He'll take it. He or she will take it to the kitchen. That person's going to look after the front door, and you're kind of moving again. But it's all been dismantled, and now we just got to build everything back up again. It's just crazy, Danny. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is. It's so there's so much. I mean, I think there's an impression out there in the community that, restaurants are open and things are back and everyone must be doing fine now. Of course, it's not that simple. Restaurants are working with very restricted numbers, and as you say, you've got to reconstruct your teams. It would be a rare restaurant that managed to hang on to everybody through this period. I mean, it's generally an industry with a lot of turnover, and I know that you've recruited through this period. So we should talk about that because we are focusing on staffing today. I mean, maybe we could just we can frame it a little bit by what I've just been doing today, which is doing the last day of the Attica Soup project. So this little soup project that I started with Ben Shuri at Attica in April, and I was actually just reflecting on it and going back through some of our early emails as we started to organise it with Ben and his partner Kylie, and just I think if in that flurry of emails that we sent back and forth in April, deciding to assist temporary visa holders within a very tangible way, just by giving them soup once a week. If we thought we'd still be doing it in November, we, yeah, I don't think we would have started it, to be frank. But here it is, and the reason we're stopping it is because a lot of the people that we've been assisting have now found work, which is great. That's really, really excellent. But I think what has become apparent is not only are they finding work, but they are in hot demand because the landscape of employment has really changed. So tell me about how that is going from your point of view.
Yep. That's a very, 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 very good question. Very good thing to ask because I'm kind of in the middle of it, and I see it from both ends. And a comment that I had that I was that I overheard, or I was part of the conversation, was that um, before the government didn't want us, and they said, well, they have to leave or they can draw on the superannuation and so on. And a lot of the visa holders felt very neglected. And however, now like me, I'm a citizen of Australia. I get all the rights of Australia and so on. A lot of our so-called ones that kind of should be kind of standing up at the plate now aren't applying for any roles. I put a job ad for front of house. I've put a job ad for senior sous chef. I put a job out for commies. I've put a job out, and I think I've had about 90 applicants, and all from overseas applicants, visa holders. I interviewed and trialed, and they said, no, we can't work tomorrow because I've got another trial. I've got another trial. I've got another trial. And I kind of grouped together a good bunch of people, really good attitudes, and they're all gone again. Like they've been offered another job, they've offered more money from somewhere else. Their job set or their skill set isn't high in the they haven't had huge amounts of experience, but they're just being attracted by other things, whether it be money or whether it be travel time, or they don't have to travel so far, or but I'm struggling. Like I'm absolutely struggling. Like the last few days, we were open. The Wednesday, no, sorry, the Thursday we were open. I'm doing absolutely everything. Like literally from mopping the floor to you name it. Lucky I've got a kind of 3 or 4 people that have stayed by, but I've wanted to open Mussy in the city, but I haven't got the staff to do it. So again, I'm just kind of rallying the troops together. Have a trial. Visa, again, another visa holder, whether 457 or they're looking at a student visa or so on. And they may spend a week here, they get a little bit of experience, and they're just nabbed by someone else. And I have this feeling is that the way that we projected ourselves, or the government projected ourselves, or what we did right at the start, it's now come to bite us in the bum big time, because now they're going, well, okay, you didn't want me before, like not me, but didn't want me before, and I had to fend for myself, and I've had to draw upon my savings, and now this is what I want. And they've got 3 or 4 jobs that they're going for, and good luck to them. I don't have an ill feeling about that. I think now they should be all worth, whether they are from Korea or Taiwan or Nepal or Italy or you name it. It's like, okay, well done. And I call out to all the chefs in front of house that are so-called, have all the rights in Australia and able to work, and they're not here. They're not coming through. So that's what I feel, is that there's been a hangover, let's say, from how hospitality was prior, and they've gone, all right, I'll go into the job keeper or job seeker. I think it's more the job seeker thing. And hospitality is now reopened, and I'm going, well, I really don't have to go, and I've got till either end of December or kind of early March. I'll do maybe a little bit of work here or there, and I really don't want to get back into hospitality full time. And now we've got 2 worlds colliding, and as much as you try to have these beautiful people in your establishment, now they have the power, and good luck, I say. And well, it's one of these things where restrictions are easing, and we're allowed to have more people into the business, from 10 to 20 people per booking, or large groups outside. And now I think what you have to do is create a business model to suit what you have in actual menu-wise. You can't have it too extreme. You can't have it like 12 or 15 or 16 people in your kitchen. there's restrictions as well about how many people can actually work in your business as well, the masks, the 1 square meter. So there's a huge amount of factors. But one thing as well is that now the visa applicants have now able to pick and choose where they want to go. And
Well, so what do you do? I mean, you say, good luck to them. They should be able to choose where they want to work, and yeah, of course, they should. But I mean, why you and you're in queue? So I suppose if someone lives in the city, which a lot of the international students, for example, do, or a lot of them live at South Bank around there. So I guess it's like a 45-minute tram ride. So I can understand people wanting a job closer to home, but I'm surprised to hear that they're telling you they're being offered more money elsewhere because, I mean, you're paying the award, right? And
paying above the award and doing, every hour is paid. It's
it's all pretty ship-shape around at Mr. Bianco.
absolutely, but it is ship shape. I haven't missed ever a superannuation payment. I've always been forthright with my payments. We've got two bookkeepers. I've got my wife doing all the hours. I don't get involved, but and we pay above the wards. The thing is, it's great. We start at 12 or 1 o'clock, and we have service by 6, and that's from Monday to Wednesday, and then Sunday's off, and we close for a couple of weeks at the end of the year. So all public holidays we never work.
Yeah, well, I'm sold. If only I could cook. So yeah, interesting.
It's very interesting, and I'm just scratching my head, going, okay, so what else do I need to do to attract and retain? So I'm very lucky that I have a few people around me that have been with me for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and we're creating some other things as well, online mozzarella businesses, and doing other kind of deliveries. And but I want to relaunch Masi in the city, and I'm trying to kind of have someone here that's worked with me for a little bit, and then we can then kind of groom this person, whether it be in the kitchen, in front of house, and then situate them in the city. But I can't get any traction, and I don't think I'm the only one out there. If someone and that's the biggest issue I'm finding as well.
Well, I think Joe, everybody's talking about it. It's the only thing that Hospo's talking about it, and it's happening in Melbourne. It's definitely happening in the regions. I think it's a seller's market in terms of hospitality workers, both front and back of house. Let's talk about Daniele Vischetti, he came to Australia on a working holiday visa. He spent some time at Vue de Monde, hadn't been there very long when the pandemic hit, and he wasn't able to stick around there. He ended up at FareShare for a little while, a charity kitchen, which was excellent. They were able to employ quite a few visa holders, and then you found him. So I guess what I'd love to hear from you is, how you sort of nurture. I mean, did you see Daniele and think, "Oh my goodness, I want this guy and I want to hang on to him"? And tell me about what you've done to sort of nurture him and give him a role and a way forward in your business.
Absolutely. So Daniela came to me, I think, right in the midst of, again, the real doom and gloom. Like that, we're talking. Well, it was my birthday, August the 9th. I think it was around that time when it was just. I don't think anyone knew where we were going to go or how this was going to end. And however, I said, okay, I need to have someone in the business that I want to groom, and make sure that I'm providing them, how to cost correctly, how to run a business. Because the fact is, you can learn how to cook, and I think a lot of chefs out there are very, very good at what they do in cooking, but the difference between a good cook or a chef or someone is someone that can run a business, and that's something that, from an experience of a diner that walks in from the door, and the food can be good to, pretty good. But again, it's the service component that makes it absolutely outstanding. And I think with Daniela, I said, okay, let's hone the fundamentals really, really closely. Let's make sure that the sources are correct and the fundamentals are done. But I want to teach you how to think efficiently and effectively. And is a very, very intelligent cook or a chef. He had a bad run in the sense of he was going from one workplace to the other workplace, and that workplace kind of closed down, and they had enough kind of JobKeeper elements in that business. And I was very lucky to for him to come here. He has a great mind. He's a very, very positive person and extremely hard worker. And he is just a joy to work with. But again, he has this. I think a lot of us have this kind of black cloud that's lingering in the background, kind of going, okay, I kind of commit to you, but how long maybe is this going to last? Is it going to be another lockdown like what we did in 1st of June, and then all of a sudden 4 weeks later, kabanga, things were running well. I was making sure that the staff were getting trained, and we were working towards another big kind of functions and Christmas and city, and the city was getting back on it, and then just knocked down again. And I think for me, it just feels like I've went to the Second World War, I've gone to the Korean War, and now it's the Vietnam War. And I don't know if I can take another one. Like, I'm so battle hardened. I've just become this robot, like just dot 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 efficient, because I don't have any time to waste. I just People say to me, "Can I meet you in the morning at 9:30?" I was like, I don't have the time. I just gotta do the specifics right at the moment. I've got, the other place in the city to kind of get up and running. I've got Q to manifest a really, really good working environment. I've got this online pasta and kind of cook at home, and working with Minnie as well. And there's a lot to do. But one thing I always say: once you take your eye off from the kitchen, and people come in for that consistent food, and they don't get it and they don't get the recognition, they walk away, and they tell you with your feet. So it's very, very important to attract the right one and the right people. But I think the best thing to do is you select via attitude. I get a lot of chefs, a lot of front of house that the resume looks fantastic, and then a couple of things were to go a little bit haywire, and they just don't have the that kind of way to see a scenario and see out of it and get out of it right.
I suppose one thing I wonder about is when you've got such a staffing shortage, and you feel like you haven't quite found the right person, uh, they don't quite do the thing that you need them to do for your business. Uh, I feel like there's a danger that standards will slip because, and I'm not saying specifically in your business, but in general, if people need, they just need a body there because they need to get the door open, and it might not be someone with quite the right skills or attitude. I think what I fear is that the standards that we love about the Melbourne hospitality industry will slip a little bit because there just aren't the skilled people around uh, to keep them as high as we would love them to be.
Correct. And I've seen a lot of job ads as well, because I read a lot of the job ads out there as well, and seeing what other places are doing. And there's a little point. A lot of them are putting this little point down the bottom. It says must have must not be must not carry an overseas visa, because no visas will be done. And I say to myself, good luck if you can find the ones that are kind of Australian chefs or front of house. Good luck. It's like there's such a shortage at the moment, and pre-March there was such a shortage. But I tried to analyze, because obviously I knew I was coming on the show today. I was trying to analyze what went wrong, and I think it was like this. Hospitality pre-March, we were in the weeds. Okay, we were deep in the weeds anyway, and a lot of people said, you know what, I'm going to try to find something else. So a lot of people in the kitchen have tried to find something outdoors, whether they want to do something landscaping, or they want to do something which is just outdoors, and they're taking kind of builder jobs. They're taking and I went, okay, so we had a shortage before, but it was kind of got through because we had the guys on the visa to make up that loss there. But then obviously when the government said, oh, if there's nothing for you here, basically catch a plane, I lost literally 25% to 30% of my staff. They took a plane and they either went to Italy, they went back to Italy, they went back to France, they went back to you name it, and it's just gone. Like literally, intellectual property of 3 to 4 years just walked out the door. So if I were to say, hey, go to the back, and grab the stuff from the top shelf, go, well, where's the back and where's the top shelf? So I literally had to start again, and that's the thing. It's like, my God. And it didn't help as well as that you've got, the delivery service and so on, and you've got the curfew at 8 o'clock, and there was no upskilling. There was no kind of trying to have someone, okay, this is what you're going to do for a couple of months, and once you do that, I'm going to then give you other roles and other jobs and whatever else, and I'm going to teach you how to do the ordering, and then leave you alone for a little bit, and you don't have to have me bearing over you. And no, it was literally, kind of, Joe, just got to get through, and you got to do it, and you don't have any opportunity for for stuff ups. So I pretty much did a lot of the things, and I didn't sleep a lot, but I just had to get through and carry the businesses through. And we had Danny, we had Masi and Mr. Bianco was thriving, and they were in really good shape. And now it's devastated. It's just literally made everything so hard in getting everything up and running again. And it's November. We should be having large function groups, and we do get a lot of those people ringing up saying, oh, I want a group of 40, and we can't do it. Oh, can we get a group of 50? Can we use your back room? Oh, sorry, can't do it. Groups of 10. And it was funny because I think we went through that for a function that I wanted to do, and I thought, yeah, we can do that. And then it just hit me in the face like a ton of bricks, and say, we can't, Joe. We need to be compliant. We need to work towards. And it was funny. I had a long ride through Richmond and all through the different areas of the city, and I was really really worried. And I went, Jesus Christ! Like outside dining, there's people using each other's backs as seats. We are all right. There's 0 cases, but if we add in the overseas people coming back from overseas, or if there's going to be a cluster again, we're going to be in trouble again. And I don't want to go through another one.
Yeah, I hear you, and I've got my Sunday Age restaurant column back, and my review this Sunday is all about COVID safety, and and in it I reflect on what are the things that you need to judge. What are the things that you can judge a restaurant on at the moment? And in the past I would say, well, it's the food, it's the experience, it's the context, it's the story. And now, really, I first have to feel safe, and I have to feel that the business is looking after the community by keeping everybody safe. That is the first and almost last thing to me. I'm not gonna go to a business that isn't doing the right thing in that regard. And, you know, uh, in Pra in Prague in July, they had a farewell party to the pandemic. Now their restaurants are closed. In Greece, they had a lovely summer. Now their restaurants are closed. In the UK, beautiful outdoorsy summer. Restaurants now locked down. So I think in Melbourne, better than anywhere in Australia, we should understand that things can go backwards just as easily. Well, actually, it's much easier to go backwards than it is to go forwards in a pandemic, as we've all become experts in. So I really, I'm glad that you are taking it so seriously, because I feel like, everybody needs to.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that we need to do. And again, we're looking at people's safety, but not just the customers. It's also your staff as well, which are your front of house staff. A lot of them, my front of house staff have elderly parents. Like for example, my wife that does a lot of the deliveries, and Daniela, she has two elderly parents. My restaurant manager here, elderly parents. My restaurant manager at Masi has elderly parents, and I kind of think, well, yeah, as much as the customer needs to be have safety, the staff need safety as well. They can't be, they can't just be people coming off the street and walking in and walking around the restaurant. And I find it now very disrespectful and offensive when there's maybe a group of 8 and they're all kind of walking around and they want to go up and down to the toilet and things like that. It's like, just sit down and calm down. Like everything's gonna, we'll sort it all out for you. And and then demanding a table for 12 and we're not going to come back if we don't get it. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not the fact that I want to do this, and I'm not trying to offend you. It's like this is what has to happen. I'm sorry.
That's terrible. Yeah, it's really bad. So, I mean, Joe, you you put so much energy into adding these extra streams to your business through the lockdowns, and now we've come out the other side. You've reopened Mr. Bianco. It's tough, as you've explained. You've still got the other things going as well, and yet you don't really, you don't completely trust the position we're in. You're scared about going backwards. In amongst all that, and in amongst the exhaustion that you must be feeling and being so busy, as you say, like you really have to have your fingers in every part of the business. Like, how are you going? How are you feeling?
I actually don't even. I'm. A, I'm a. Danny. I'm a really. I wouldn't say a strange beast. I think I come from a. I come from the mindset of never ever ever give up, and it's Jesus, it's like some people say, say, oh, I really respect what you're doing. It's like, I'm not doing it because I want fame. I'm doing it because I have, 2 boys. I have my wife depends on me. My 2 boys depending on me. I've got, a business that, a lot of people here have worked so hard as well, for so long, and I can't give it up. I can't do it. It's just, and I say, okay, this is what we've got to do. We've got to make sure that the local community has something at home that, whether it be something special, they're getting a kind of restaurant experience at home, or we're having a little bit of fun as well and doing some quirky things. And, we're launching a book, which I've had to kind of, delay, 4 months. So now it's the 24th. I said, I don't care what happens. The earth can freaking blow up, but the book is going to be launched on the 24th, and that's it. And that's where we're going. How am I going? I haven't had time to sit down and kind of think about it, but I I think if I do sit down and kind of, I think I'm just going to fall in a heap. I'm just going on anxiety, or I'm just going on, and thank God that we're allowed, more than 25 kilometers, because now I've got on my bike, and I have a good support network around me. I've got some really loving people, and I've got some great doctors as well, because I've got multiple sclerosis, and they're always keeping tabs on me, and they're always updating my medications and things like that. And I don't know, Danny, yet. Let's see. I'm going to close on the 1st of January. I'm going to close for 2 weeks, and I think I'm probably going to sleep for about a week. Yeah.
I think you'll deserve it. I hope there's a lot of good times in the restaurant and great staff coming into your team before that. Because yeah, yeah, that's just a lot. It's just a lot, and it's very far from over.
Yeah, if I can say one other thing as well, one thing I've seen is that we're a lot of, and I'll be very very frank and open because I've got nothing to hide, is that we're also cannibalizing a lot of the staff as well. Like getting headhunted from me to go there, that person's getting headhunted to go there. And I just say, if possible, just let's just play a clean. Let's just hospitality. Let's just get back to being people that are playing with a straight bat. And I really kind of wanted hospitality to kind of realize what we were doing wrong prior, and now let's just get back to, and I say this with all due respect and everything, guys. If you don't like what you're doing, I think it's the best time to get out now. You need to have a passion. I keep on saying this. If you don't like playing tennis and you play tennis for 5 hours and you go after the 5 hours, go, I fucking hate playing tennis, I'm never going to play again, and you continue playing, you're not going to do it. And it's the same with hospitality. It's the same with any job. Now, if you don't like what you do, for example, especially in hospitality, it's you're literally killing yourself, because not the fact that you don't work 9 to 5, you work in hours where other people are going to enjoy themselves, and the hours of Friday and Saturday and now Sunday as well, is that we need you. So you can't kind of pick and choose the hours that you want to do. Is that these are the hours that restaurants or venues are open, and that's it. So if you hate what you do and you have a really bad attitude about it, it's best to just go to the agent and say, "This is the restaurant. This is what I kind of want for it," and walk out now and look for a different career path, because you're just hurting the rest of us, and underpaying staff and all the rest of the bunga stuff that goes on in this industry. It's time to stop. And that's it, because I'm sick and tired of being painted with the same brush of others that are doing this crap. And it's time to say, okay, if we have less restaurants, no problem. If we have more restaurants, whatever, but we need to kind of say, okay, we can't just cannibalize each other and backstab and crap that goes on. It's time to say, that's it. We gotta start working together. And if we do, we'll have a really, really beautiful industry working. And we've got to make one thing as well. We've got to make our farmers the hero. That's it. We can't, say, oh, Coles, we're $1 milk. Man, the plastic costs, 30 cents or whatever it is. So what are we actually drinking? Like, the farmer's got to be the hero. They have to be the one that is standing there, and the chef, like for example, I use some beautiful produce. All I have to do is grill it and put a little bit of salt, maybe a little bit of lemon juice, and the product's done. And we got to be happy with the price that we pay for good, for good food. That's my sermon.
Yeah, well, I think it would be a shame if out of this crisis there wasn't a bit of a reset. It definitely has been an opportunity to rethink, and I think uh, we were both, I think, fearful that that opportunity wouldn't be realised, that there would be such a back to normal drive when people were able to trade again. But it would be a missed opportunity if people didn't, I guess, reflect, as you're saying, and think, well, is this what I want to be doing? And if I do want to do it, then I really better do it well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. When you see those guests coming through your doors, do you say to yourself, "Oh, I wish they wouldn't come here"? That's your answer right there. If you say, "Oh my God, who are these people? Oh, can you just get out?" Like, "Oh my God," like, it's time to go. I think, and that's being honest. You know, and if you have to do the dishes, or you have to do everyone's role is as important as everyone else. And I think the last 7 months, I've been doing, you name it, dishes, mopping, cleaning. You just have to set the example, and you got to set the example, from the front, and uh, and the guys that are on the visa, if I have to, I apologise for what our government said at the start, and I wish that never was the case. And we do really, really value you, and we need you. So please don't leave us. And if possible, I think the government should just do a kind of a mandated, anyone on a visa, bang, everyone's now a resident, and let's move forward. And keep everyone here. I think, because their tax that they pay, and my tax it's the same thing. So why didn't they get the even if it was like a visa care package or something like that, like $250 or something like that, just for them to buy maybe a new pair of shoes, or get an ice cream, or pay their rent or something like that. I don't know, but we stuffed it up.
Well, just to be seen, I think they were really turned into this other. They were unseen, they were ignored, and yeah, it's pretty disgraceful. Okay, well, Joe, yeah, it's really good to talk to you. I'm so tired today, and I feel like now I've taken on some of the weight of your situation as well. So now I'm
Yeah,
gonna go have a nap.
good.
But,
Yeah,
it's been so lovely to talk to
have a
you.
brandy.
Okay, maybe a brandy then
Thank
a
you very
nap.
much, Dani.
Thanks so much, Joe. Great to talk to you, and yes, sincerely wish you all the best.
Thank you, Dani.
This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about. We spend a week thrashing around each issue, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinen@deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.
This is a Deep in the Weeds production.